Hey, I'm Muhammad, and I am from Saudi Arabia. Growing up, I saw many rich men in our city having multiple wives. According to our religion, a man is allowed to marry up to 4 women. And back when I was 13 years old, girls were the only thing on my mind. Luckily, my father is a high ranking general in the military. He makes a good salary, and I knew I could easily afford to have 4 women. I chose my first wife when I was 14. She was beautiful and 4 years older than me. We were a happy couple, but I never told her I wanted a second, a third, and even fourth wife. Had she known about it, she would have never married me. So you can imagine how angry she got when one day I brought home a new girl and introduced her as my second wife. I had married her the day before without telling anyone. But it's not easy to live with 2 wives. They constantly argue and scream at each other. My first wife is the worst. She is always in a bad mood, which is why I'm spending less and less time with her. When I told my father I wanted a third and fourth wife, he agreed, but I had to promise that someday I would carry out my duties and become a high-profile politician. He said I could even become the governor of our city, which is an extremely prestigious position that would guarantee me even more money and power than my father has. But all that is so far in the future, and all I could think about was finding my third and fourth wife. Luckily, I succeeded, and today, we all live inside the same house. When people find out I have 4 wives, even though I'm only 17, they always congratulate me. And inside my school, I'm a living legend because most of my classmates have never even kissed a girl. I also already have 3 kids, and I'm planning to have at least 20 someday, because there's nothing more important than family. But it's not always easy to be a good husband. I'm supposed to divide my time equally among my wives, but how should I do that if I don't love them equally? When one of them starts complaining, I just leave the room and spend time with one of my other wives. So, do I recommend having multiple wives to others? Yes, but be careful. There are 2 types of women. One type that makes you happy, and one type that makes you miserable. So make sure you choose the right one. When I recently took my 4th wife on a vacation to Austria, my other wives went mad accusing me of treating them unfairly. But if they really loved me, wouldn't they want me to be happy? They don't understand that it's impossible for me to split up my time equally among them. And my father told me that back in his days, women were not allowed to speak up to a man at all. But today, none of my wives appreciate the luxuries I provide for them. They all take it for granted. As soon as I'll be earning my own money, I'll move into a bigger house. Because right now, we all sleep inside the same bed, which has its benefits, but they always fight for my attention, which drives me crazy, because sometimes I need peace and silence. But there is another problem. More and more people argue that having multiple wives is bad for society. They say if one man has 4 wives, 3 other men have no wife at all. And then those lonely men will become angry and try to start a revolution against the rich and powerful to overthrow them. Well, in my opinion, we should throw these men into prison. They only care about themselves, because they want to take my wives away from me so they can own them instead. But my wives chose me as their husband. If they wanted to divorce me, they could do it any time. I wouldn't mind. But who wants a woman who already gave birth to a child of another man? No one. The real problem is that today's women watch too many Hollywood movies where men cook meals and clean the house. Afterward, they start to think I'm a bad husband that doesn't love them. But I always tell them, if you aren't happy with me, go divorce me. I don't care. I will replace you with a younger and more beautiful wife by tomorrow. But they don't want to divorce me because they love to live the rich life I provide for them. I actually know a powerful man who has 4 wives just like me. One of them always complained he didn't spend time with her and then she cheated on him with another man. And even though adultery is punishable by death, it is impossible to prove that someone committed adultery. So what the husband did instead was to put his wife under house arrest, which means she isn't allowed to leave her house anymore. You see, that's what happens when women watch too many movies. They will go down the wrong path and betray their own husband. Anyways, I hope you were able to learn something from my story. And let me know in the comments what you think about having multiple wives.